Well, good afternoon. Rob Man here from the Blue Boy podcast. And I got to say, it's a really beautiful day out. I think, um, I think maybe, I mean, it's been bipolar lately, but I think maybe finally winter's over. We're going to have like that wishy washy bipolar weather here, but I can't believe it's March already. This year's just going by so quickly. Anyway, we got our cigar, we got our coffee, we're ready to make a video. Okay. And in today's video, I want to talk about something I had a conversation with somebody about recently. Something that was pretty interesting. Um, it had to do with the topic of having kids. Now, I never really thought that there would be a day and age where it was such a debate whether to have them or not. But that's where we're at. And both sides have valid points. Both sides have, their reasons for either having them or not having them. Overall, it's something I keep hearing about. So I keep experiencing in my own life. It just keeps coming up. So I just thought it'd be something interesting to talk about. Now, the main topic of discussion and the reason I wanted to make this video wasn't just about whether to have kids or not, but the topic that came up was that having children is selfish. It's a selfish thing to do. That was what the conversation was. Now, I don't happen to agree with that at all, but that's the direction it went. And I know for some reason these days everybody likes to shout everybody down, and not actually have a conversation. But I love conversations like this because it really makes you think and challenges and shows you how really differently everybody thinks. Because for me, I held the opposite thought of it would be a little bit more selfish to not have kids, especially if you're somebody who would make a good parent. What a waste. That was my thought on it. A little windy out. It's kind of hard to keep this thing lit. But basically, for this, we have two different arguments, right? So on the one side, selfish to have kids. The other side, selfish to not have kids. Maybe we should meet somewhere in the middle. Probably is what I came to the assessment of after thinking about this for a while. But basically, the thought process behind it being selfish is to have children. It's just such a crazy world we live in now. Your kids don't have any choice in the matter of coming into this world. It's a decision that you make, whether it's in passion or you plan for it. And now they're sort of here, and you do the best you can, but the world's a crazy place. And how could we bring kids into this world? Plus, there's so many people already that, why should we add to the even growing population? That was the one side of the argument. My side of the argument was this. There's a lot of people out there, and this kind of goes to that side of the argument too. There's a lot of people out there that have no business having kids, right? A lot of people that they don't have the means to take care of the child properly. They don't really want to have kids, but they have them anyway. A lot of broken homes out there. In my line of work, I see a lot of broken homes. I see a lot of that stuff, and it's definitely a problem. It's definitely something that's not great. It's led to a lot of problems in our society over generations and generations and generations. But with that, there's a lot. So yeah, there are a lot of people out there that probably have no business having kids. They have kids, and it is what it is. So the people who would make good parents, the people who have the means, who have the ability to make good parents, and obviously good parenting, there's a lot of nuance there, but in basic, the ability to teach a child right from wrong, the ability to provide for the child. Hopefully there's two parents in a household. I know that there's single parents out there and they do what they can, but that's just not the ideal situation. I'm talking about if you're in the ideal situation where there's two sane adults who have the means to take care of a child. Look, the next generation's not going to raise itself. They're the future. And when you get older, you know, you're not going to be it forever. Okay, we have to contribute to what comes next in this world. So God bless all the people out there who take that on and decide to be parents. I don't think there's anything selfish about that at all. Because let's look at the other side of it. The people who decide to not have kids, who have the means, right? So a lot of them, they will end up living a life, not that I'm saying there's anything right or wrong about it, but that is unto themselves. They're going to, be taking trips and living their life the best of their ability until they get older. Until they get to the age where really having kids probably isn't feasible. Maybe at some point later on they can decide to adopt, and that's a whole nother thing. But really, I see it a lot where people say, you're having kids for you. You're having kids for you and your own personal purposes and your own almost vanity. It's all about you, and you just want to raise little clones of yourself. I do see a problem nowadays. It's a little bright. I'll put my sunglasses on. I do see a problem with people thinking that their kids are just these little soulless husks that, they are going to just inject what they want into and get what they want out of. And you got to remember that each child, each person is an individual, and you can raise them all the exact same way, and they're all going to take it in different ways. We all have two natures, I believe. We have the personality and nature we're born with, and then we have the outward surroundings that sort of influence who we are and who we're going to become. Real quick, just take a quick break and talk about the cigar real quick, because I'm going to go ahead and take the wrapper off. So this is a brand I like. I like the Partagas Black Label. So this is the first time I got a variety pack off of Cigar Bid. Small little plug there for the website I buy cigars off of. And this is just like the standard. It looks like the standard label of Partagas. I really like this. It has like a very unique flavor to it. It's the best way I can say it is it's tasty. I don't know. It's tasty. So I definitely like that about this one. But in general, this is just a good brand of cigars from what I've had. I've had a couple of different ones. This is my first time with just their standard label cigar. But yeah, so it's the whole thing of nature versus nurture, right? So interior influences and exterior influences. And every child's going to go through this. I've seen terrible parents who the child ends up turning out just fine because they don't want to be anything like their parents. I've seen kids where they the parents do everything in their power to be a positive role model on that child, and then they end up just turning into honestly like a shithead. It just depends. It really just depends. So you have to realize that going into it, that people always want to talk about oh well, I'm going to do this and that for the child, and they're going to turn out this way and that way, and it might not go that way. You might have a child where you you do the best you can, and then they turn into freaking Damien from The Omen. You know what I mean? I mean, there's only like so much you have control over in this life. On the other hand, you could choose not to have children, and children aren't going to be for everybody. And kudos to you if you recognize that. Maybe maybe children aren't for you, but I just feel like there's so little solid parenting going on these days, and there's a lot of people who are having kids that basically they just had them out of passion, and then now that the passion's over, there's a child there, there's a commitment there now for 18 years that parent has no sort of intention to look after that child or to nurture them, or they'll just put spaghettios in the cupboard, and then they want to go out and party and do whatever else they want to do. They don't want to be there half the time. Maybe in order to support, they have to work all the time and they're never around for the child. Which is why I just feel like if you have the means to have a great family and you choose not to, that would kind of be the more selfish angle on it. And it's not even necessarily selfish. I'm just saying this whole argument honestly is kind of silly to me, of, oh, well, it's selfish to have children, it's selfish to not have children. Putting it like this negative label on it, it's just holding a concrete standard. It's holding a solid standard for something that has so many variables and nuances to it. And I mean, wouldn't it be nice if life was so simple that we just have one cookie cutter answer for everything? But that's just not the way life works. That's just not how it goes. There's so many things to consider. There's so many things that happen. So I would say, if you want to have children and you have the means and you're able to make that contribution to society, because that's exactly what it is, your children are going to go out into the world and be a part of the next generation, then you should do it. Now there's the whole other thing of, well, you can raise the child. This was the other side of the argument, but they're going to go and hang out with all of the disrespectful kids and the kids out of broken homes, and then that's going to that's going to negatively impact your kids. And then no matter what you do, it's almost like a gloom and doom thing. And I can tell you that the worst decisions in the world are made out of fear of, oh, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Or, oh, this is most definitely going to happen. Someday a meteor is going to strike the earth. I mean, we can do what ifs all we want. An alien could come down from outer space and abduct me. But how about we just try it? Just try it. Just try it. If it's something that you're wanting to do and you're on the fence because of fear of all the bad things that can happen, anytime all the bad things that could happen are influencing a decision that you're making, I think the best thing to do is to look at all the positive things that could happen. What could go right? Whenever you're thinking about, oh, everything could go wrong, what could go right in this situation? What could go right from having children and having a family? Same token, I get it. There are a lot of people out there that they want to travel, they want to see the world, they don't want to be burdened by even having a pet, a dog to take care of, let alone a child that's going to take 18 years. Maybe they have other ways they can contribute. Maybe they can look after other people's kids, or maybe they could be influenced vicariously, or maybe they have other contributions to make to the world in science and medicine and ideas and philosophy. And a lot of people choose in the Christian world to be missionaries and go out and dedicate their lives to the service of others. Maybe a family's not conducive for that lifestyle. Maybe it would be selfish to bring a child into that lifestyle. So, I started the argument with the person with one concrete answer, and I came out with the fact that there's no right answer to it. Is it selfish to have a family? It depends on you. It depends on what you're going through. What stage of life are you in? Are you ever going to be in a stage of life where it makes sense to have a kid, to have a family, to have a spouse? It's not for everybody because everybody's so different. We have this cookie cutter idea that everybody is the same. We're all on the same page. And I can tell you from living in today's world, we're most definitely not. This is one of the most divisive times, I think, in a long time, you know? But that's the funny thing, too. Everybody says, oh, well, nowadays, you know, like there was some right time to have kids. Like it was better in the 1970s or something. I'm sure there are things that were better, but there are also things that were worse. There was a lot less oversight over children, good or bad. You know, there was a lot more, it was a lot easier to just abduct a child and the child never to be seen again, things like that. I mean, you know, if you had a child in the like days of the Wild West, you know, there was a good chance you would die in childbirth, or that, you know, you would lose some kids to a disease because medicine had not developed to the point that it is today. There's always a reason to do things, and there's always a reason to not do things. I saw somebody say this about the housing market. They're like, listen, if you want to buy a house to live in, there's always going to be reasons to do it and not to do it. There's always going to be bad things about the market and good things about the market. Sure, there's better times to buy, there's better times to sell, and there's better times to wait. But overall, if that's what you want to do, you could be waiting for a day that never comes. You could be waiting for a time that's not there. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this year's going by quick. So if there's things and dreams and aspirations that you have that you want to get to, I say do it, get to it. If you want to have kids and have a family and you've been on the fence about it, or if you already have them and you're questioning whether you've done the right thing, look, now you're already in it. You're already in the fight. So do the best you can with it. That's really all you can ever do in any situation, especially stressful ones. You can only do what you can do. And that's it. You have to let go of the rest. You only have so much power and so much control, which is pretty much none at all. So do the best you can with what you got. And the rest of it's going to be up to God, if you believe in God, or whatever, you know, if you want to believe in the universe, whatever it is for you. Okay, for me, I believe in God, but whatever it is for you, the rest is up to, you know, what fate, I guess, for you. You have to sit down, as I always say, think critically, and think what is really the best situation for you in your life. And just remember that that can always change too. That's the thing I get about that side of the argument, is you could be all gung-ho about having kids and 5 years go by, and then now you're at the place where you live in regret and wish that you hadn't. It's a big decision. Those type of decisions you can't go back on. So you should think about it, and think about it a lot. Nowadays, it seems like the nuclear family is under attack. The idea of traditionalism and having any sort of tradition at all, you know, we're almost never on the same page about anything anymore as a society. So no matter what you do, you're going to piss somebody off, and somebody's going to tell you you're wrong for doing it or selfish for doing it. A lot of thoughts and opinions out there. It's best to just hear them, consider them, know what you believe, know what you are at your core, and then move on from there. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I would like to know what you think in the comments below about this. It's a big topic. Family. To have a family or to not have a family? 'Tis the question. You know, what do you think? Do you think it's selfish to have kids? Do you not? Where do you fall on this side of the argument? Do you fall somewhere a little bit more like me, where, hey, maybe it's just up to each individual in each equilibrium of their life. Anyway, as always, as I always say, get out, do more, enjoy your life, and hey, I'll see you in the next video.